इतना काफ़ी है। मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ।
और किसी ने फोन आता तो बंद नहीं होता है।
साइलेंट रहेगा, साइलेंट नहीं निपट नहीं होगा।
कम तो नहीं होगा ना आपका?
हाँ नहीं होगा। सही है।
So you all can take it to the matter. Devotees can come forward also. effect of Navratri.
Yeah.
Staulyam Bhashyam Vyada Adyascha Shukrit Vayam Paliricha Jaracha Nidraratir Manuraham Madasucho Dehena Jatasya Nena Santi Staulyam Kashyam Vyadaya Adayascha Shukrit Bhayam Kaliricha Jaracha Nidraratir Manuraham Madasucho Dehena Jatasya Himena Santi Saulyam Kashyam Gadaya Adayascha Shukrit Bhayam Kaliricha Jaracha Nidraratir Manuraham Madasucho Dehena Jatasya Himena Santi Devotees would like to chant.
Staulyam Kashyam Vyadaya Adyascha Shukrit Bhayam Kaliricha Jaracha Nidraratir Manuraham Madasucho Dehena Jatasya Himena Santi
स्थौल्यं काश्यं व्याधये आधयश्च
Staulyam Kashyam Vyadaya Adyascha
शुक्रं भयं कलिरिच्छा जरा च
Shukrit Bhayam Kaliricha Jaracha
निद्रारतिर्मन्युरहं मदः शुचो
Nidraratir Manuraham Madasucho
देहेन जातस्य हि मे न सन्ति
Dehena Jatasya Himena Santi
What means Staulyam? Being very stout and strong.
Being very stout and strong
Kashyam.
Kashyam
Being skinny and weak.
Being skinny and weak
Vyadaya.
Vyadaya
The pains of the body.
The pains of the body
Such as disease.
such as disease
Adaya.
Adaya
The pains of the mind.
The pains of the mind
Cha.
Cha
And
and
Shukrit Bhayam.
Shukrit
Hunger, thirst and fear.
Hunger, thirst and fear
Kalihi.
Kaligi
Quarrels between two persons.
Quarrels between two persons
Ichha.
Ichha
Desires.
Desires
Jara.
Jara
Old age.
Old age
Cha.
Cha
And
and
Nidra.
Nidra
Sleep.
Sleep
Ratihi.
Ratihi
Attraction for sense gratification.
Attachment for sense gratification
Manyuhu.
Manyuhu
Anger.
Anger
Aham.
Aham
False identification.
False identification
In the bodily concept of life.
The bodily concept of life
Madaha.
Managa
Illusion.
Illusion
Suchaha.
Suchaha
Lamentation.
Lamentation
Dehena.
Dehena
With this body.
with this body
Jatasya.
Jadasya
Of one who has taken birth.
of one who has taken birth
He.
He
Certainly. May.
me
Of me.
of me
Na.
na
Not.
not
Santi.
santi
Exist.
exists.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Fatness, thinness, bodily and mental distress, thirst, hunger, fear, disagreement, desires for material happiness, old age, sleep, attachment for material possessions, anger, lamentation, illusion and identification of the body with the self are all transformations of material coverings of the spirit soul. A person absorbed in the material bodily conception is affected by these things. But I am free from all bodily conceptions. Consequently, I am neither fat nor skinny nor anything else you have mentioned. Purport. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung Dehasmati Nahiyara Samsara Bandhana Kahan Thava. One who is spiritually advanced has no connection with the body and with the bodily actions and reactions. When one come to understand that he is not the body and therefore is neither fat nor skinny, one attains the topmost form of spiritual realization. When one is not spiritually realized, the bodily conception entangles one in the material world. At the present moment, all human society is laboring under the bodily conception. Therefore, in the Shastras, people in this age are referred to as Dvipada Pashu, two-legged animals. No one can be happy in a civilization conducted by such animals. Our Krishna consciousness movement is trying to raise fallen human society to the status of spiritual understanding. It is not possible for everyone to become immediately self-realized like Jada Bharata. However, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1-18, Nashta Prayesh Shabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Senaya. By spreading the Bhagavata principle, we can raise human society to the platform of perfection. When one is not affected by the bodily conceptions, one can advance by the Lord's devotional service. Nashta Prayesh Shabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Senaya. Bhagavat Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishti. The more we advance our freedom from the bodily conception, the more we are fixed in the devotional service, and the more we are happy and peaceful. In this regard, Srila Madhvacharya says that those who are too materially affected continue the bodily conception. Such persons are concerned with different bodily symptoms, whereas one freed from bodily conception live without the body even in the material condition. Om Adhyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurabdhikam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sangaram Yena Bhutale Sarvabhutamahyam Dadati Svavadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudhavadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sarvadharmanavastikam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parivadasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sarvadharita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karma Sindhu Dinamando Jagatkade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurani Rani Vrindavaneshwari Vishwapano Sure Devi Pranamami Haritye Vacha Kalpatarupasya Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So here we are seeing this section of Maharaj Raghunatha Jadabharata's meeting, and this fan is leader of this was after Guru Puja they might have put here. Fan is needed?
But it's not.
Little less people.
Yeah.
So this section, we are now studying this section through the weekdays as well. So it's a shloka that is going on continuously. So this section is very nice. We see that the Jadabharata, so like the Bharat Maharaj in his third life, so he is born as a son of a Brahmana. So but then he is not showing any symptoms of intelligence, showing any symptoms of knowledge, and even he doesn't behave himself like a civilized man. So his father is quite aggrieved because of this, and then he is trying to educate him, and he is trying to give all the samskaras and things like that. So that's one of the duty of the father, like the duty of the parents is to educate the children. and here is a Brahmana, nice Brahmana. So like he wants him to be educated in the spiritual knowledge and the Vedic rites and things like that. So but then Jadabharata did not, though he is capable of, but still he doesn't show any signs of intelligence. And all other people also actually regard him as a less intelligent person. So but still the father is trying to do all the samskaras and education and things like that. So but then later on it just proves ineffective. And once he was actually guarding his field, like his other brothers and all, they had put him to guard the field. That's the only thing that he can do. Even that he doesn't do sometimes. Instead of keeping some scary doll over there, you can keep the live person. So in that way, they had just engaged him in that way. So but then some dacoits, they were doing this Kali worship, and sometimes these kind of ghastly worships are there. So where just to get some power, they would actually engage in some narabali, and they were looking for a very nice fit person who didn't have any bodily ailments and things like that, to be caught and then offered as sacrifice. So but then when they were about to sacrifice, so Mother Kali, so she knows that she is also Vaishnavi, and she knows that here is a great devotee and these people are about to kill a great devotee. So then she came into action and she destroyed all the dacoits, and then Jadabharat did not care for anything. He just walked off from the place, and he was just wandering. And that time, so the king's servants, they were actually looking for the palanquin carriers. So they had, the palanquin has four this one's rods, and they needed 4 people to carry. So already 3 were there. So one, they were trying to find one more person, and they found that this guy is very gatta, nicely is there, so he can do this service to the king. So they recruited him into the palanquin carrying service, and they had put him. So but then Jadabharat, he did not protest, he did not resist, he just whatever comes by the way of by the will of the Lord, he was just simply following that. And when he was carrying the palanquin, so he was not able to carry it properly. So because when he was seeing that some ants are passing by in the way, and he didn't want to step on the ants, and he was little bit staying back and then going forward, and like this he was doing. So the journey of palanquin was not very comfortable for the king. And king started chastising the palanquin carriers, why you people are doing like this. So then they told that, no, we are not doing improper. So the new person whom we have recruited, so that person is not doing things properly. And then next time, when the same thing continues, so the king actually makes a sarcastic comment. And about that now, Raghuvana is responding to those sarcastic comments. So that sarcastic comments are, how troublesome this is, my dear brother. You certainly appear very fatigued because you have carried this palanquin alone without assistance for a long time and for a long distance. Besides that, due to your old age, you have become greatly troubled. Actually, this is all not true. He's just making sarcastic comment. So you alone are carrying, and you are maybe you are tired, you are very old, and you are not very So my dear friend, I see that you are not very firm, not very strong and stout. Whereas Jadabharat was quite strong and stout. Aren't you your fellow carriers cooperating with you? In this way, the king criticized Jadabharat with sarcastic words. Yet, despite being criticized in this way, Jadabharat had no bodily conception of the situation. He knew that he was not the body, for he had attained this spiritual identity. He was neither fat nor thin, nor bad, nor he had anything to do with the lump of matter, a combination of 5 gross things and 3 subtle elements. He had nothing to do with the material body and its 2 hands and legs. In other words, he had completely realized the spiritual identity, Aham Brahmasmi. He was therefore unaffected by the sarcastic criticism from the king. Without saying anything, he continued carrying the palanquin as before. So here we see that this great personality, like how does a great personality function? Now, how does he react to the stimulus of this external world? So the external world is always provocating. Some way or other, the external world will keep provocating us. So, but then, like, how does a self-realized person, he acts, to these, provocations? So that is something very nicely displayed over here. And this is also a matter that needs to be, pondered very deeply. So, what is this self-realization is all about? What is this? Here is a liberated soul, Jivan Mukta, who's living in the body, but then still he is liberated. So liberated means, what do we mean by this word liberation? What do we mean by that? Okay, so that's one aspect, realization that we are soul, we are not the body. Any other aspect?
Free from the dualities.
Free from dualities. Free from dualities. Notice the external world, the stimulus of this external world doesn't affect them. Anything else?
Free from
Free from three modes of material nature. That's essentially called as the liberation. Liberation means to be relieved, from some bondage. What is the bondage? Bondage is of three modes of nature. That's the thing that binds us. So, and the three modes of nature, how does it bind? How does it affect? So, Srila Prabhupada gives sometimes this example of if you go to an infected area, a place which is filled with infection, and like you don't have any choice. If you go there, you will get affected by that infection. And once you get affected by the infection, you will start displaying the symptoms, of that infection. So if it is a dengue, then like in any fever, like first symptom is that you will have the platelets, goes down, and then after that, different other symptoms that comes, and then you have to take blood tests and things like that. So like in that, you will get more symptoms that are revealed, and then another symptom is like you will get fever, and you will have less appetite, you will have less energy in the body, and then most of the day, like you will be confined to the bed and things like that. So now somebody may come saying that, you are a very healthy person, get up from the bed and be energetic. So can we do when we are having fever? Huh? So it's not possible, right? So we will be like affected by that. That way, like completely we are affected. So now, in the same way, this affection of the three modes of material nature, how it affects is, so karanam guna sangosya. Wherever there is particular mode of nature is active, so you go there and take association of that, so then you will be infected by that particular mode. So then the symptoms will start manifesting. So if you get affected by mode of passion, so you will be always like very, very restless, and you want to achieve something, and you want to like do something big and stuff like that, and constantly like in anxiety and this one, things like that. So that's the effect of mode of passion. So if somebody may tell them that, see, you are not the body, you are the spirit soul. So now you have to act, these are the functions of the soul, and you should not be bothered about the body. So he cannot just like that come out of it. Just like a person affected by fever, you tell like whatever, this one, like, you have energy, you have the same hands and legs, you are doing so many, like big activities. So you get up and you do. He cannot do. Because right now he is affected by the fever, affected by some infection. So in the same way, the material modes of nature, when we are infected by the material modes of nature, so we may study this philosophy, we may see that we are not the body, we are the spirit, soul, and things like that. But it requires some treatment for us to come to that stage. It is not possible that immediately we will be able to do that. That's the power of this infection of material modes of nature. And it practically binds the soul, practically binds the living entity. So now, this concept of liberation means to come out of this modes of material nature. And all the material elements that we are seeing here, this body is made of matter, and all the elements that is there around us, everything is made of matter. And who can control matter? Material nature, Maya. That's the initial or the primary, immediate controller of the matter. And then ultimate controller is the Supreme Lord, who gives sanction and things like that. So this material nature, this body, is, first one important thing to understand is prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasara. So we cannot do anything through this body. We can only choose, or we can only desire to do certain things, and that has to be sanctioned by the Lord, and that has to be executed by the material nature. So for example, if I have to lift this phone, so I had the desire, now I want to, mentally I'm trying to do this thing. So the Lord has to sanction it and material nature has to execute it. Though on my own, I don't have the power to execute this, even this simple act. So that is how the living entity is. So the living entity is living in a place, he has got many resources, and these resources cannot be controlled by him directly. So but then it is controlled by the material nature, right? So now when a person actually gets liberated, so what he does is, what he experiences is nicely described in Bhagavad Gita. So his daily activities will keep going on. His eating, sleeping, evacuation, and all these things is going on. But he is completely unmindful of those things. It is just like a routine. This one that actually goes on. So it just goes on. So how many of you have experienced this? When you are driving, car or riding a two-wheeler. So you are busy thinking about something, and automatically you are going to your office, or you are going to this one. No, it's like you have not applied your conscious decision that I have to take a left and right. So it is automatically going, the vehicle is automatically going. How many of you have experience of this? And that's somewhat experience of the liberated person. so automatically खाना चल रहा है, सब कुछ चल रहा है, material activities चल रहा है. But then he is very, very busy, in the thoughts of the Lord. He is very busy in the in his internal meditation on the Lord, right? So here Jada Bharat is also somewhat like that. So he is a liberated person. He is very, very advanced in Krishna consciousness, and he is not affected by the bodily this ones. And now mana apamana, these two things are very much it affects the persons. So in the corporates we see that people have to be appreciated. So then even in devotee circles, all of us are also conditioned, so we need appreciation. So appreciation when it comes, so we feel good, and then when somebody chastises, we don't feel good, right? So but a liberated person, this liberated means he is not bound by the three modes of nature, and the things that are controlled by three modes of nature is the body, the mind, the intelligence, the false ego, and all these things are controlled by three modes of nature. But false ego is the origin of three modes of nature. But so other aspects, they are controlled by three modes of nature. And anything that happens, mana and apamana, so where does it affect? It affects the mind, right? So and that is controlled by modes of nature. And this guy is liberated. So any of these things which are meant to provoke this mind, the mental situation, is not actually acting upon him, because he is completely liberated from this one. It's just like if you are driving and Baji mein there is another vehicle is also going on, and somebody hits the other vehicle, will you get pain? Few inches this side, if it comes and hits you, you will get pain. Your vehicle, if it gets hit, you will get pain, right? So in the same way, here, though Jada Bharat is having this material body, but then he has stopped identifying himself with this material body. So, कोई भी उसको टोकता है तो उसको pain नहीं आता. Somebody actually hits that body, he doesn't get pain. So he is not getting affected by the glorification or chastisement, that he is getting, on his bodily platform. So then, what does it matters for these people? What is everybody has to be attached to something. So these liberated people, what is that they are attached to? So they are attached to that they being the part and parcel of the Lord, and they being the servant of the Lord, and they are very much attached to the service of the Lord. That's something that they cannot give it up. So it is mentioned that salokya sarupya sarishti samkyaiktatvam apyuta diyamanam na grunanti vina matsevanam jana. So the devotees, of the Lord, so they are, what is the state of their existence? The Lord is actually describing. So there are 5 kinds of liberation that is there. Salokya. Salokya means? Residing in the same planet as the Lord. And Salokya, then Salokya Sarishti. So same opulence as the Lord, and then
Same form.
same form Sarupya, and then Samipya is like very close to the Lord, and then Aikatvam is like the Sayujya. So that is like merging in the body of the Lord. So all these kinds of different liberations are there, and then like the Lord is telling Diyamana na grinanti. Now if I give it to my devotees, they will not take it. No, why they will not take it? Okay, Sayujya, we know, like we don't want to merge in the body of the Lord because then we lose the opportunity to render service to the Lord. But then other liberations are good, right? No, like always we have been talking about going back to Godhead, going to Vaikuntha. And the Lord is telling that if I give an opportunity to my devotee to stay, for staying in the same planet as I am, he will not take it. And then like he's telling that Samipya, if I give him an opportunity to be very close to me, even he will not take it. Okay, Sarishti, great opulence as the Lord, like I don't want the opulence like Lord, I want to be a servant. But then to be a servant, to be close to the Lord is very important, right? So, but then Lord is telling that if I give, he will not take it. So, ये क्या होता है? How to understand this? Huh? That is there, but finally, that is one mood. Another mood is we also want to go back to Godhead. We also want to serve Him, back in the Vaikuntha. So that's the proper platform, for us to serve, because here we have this material body which is tuned for sense gratification. And in this material body, we have to render devotional service to the Lord. It's a big circus actually. So the instrument is tuned for sense gratification, and using that instrument, you have to render service to the Lord. So it's very difficult actually. So like a devotee aspires to go back to the spiritual world, so that I'll have the spiritual body is tuned for service of the Lord. So it is very easy and natural to render service to the Lord, right? So then why Prabhupada is writing a devotee have to aspire to go back to Godhead and things like that. And here Krishna is telling if I give them an opportunity to come, my devotee will not come. Ulta hoga.
By considering themselves humble, they would put other devotees
in the front, but still they also would like to go. So the fourth line of the shloka is Vina mat sevanam jana. So if Vina mat sevanam, without my service, they will not come to me, right? So if the Lord says the devotee that you come home back to Godhead, you can be there with me. So then the devotee will ask what is the service, my Lord? Kuch service nahi hai, aisa itna service kiya bahut ho gaya, you can come and chill out for some time. And the devotee will say no, I want service. Service is the connection with the Lord, right? So we are part and parcel of the Lord, and our connection with the Lord is the service. Without that, even though we may be in the close proximity, still we'll be far distance apart. The real thing that connects us and the Lord is the service, right? So the devotee aspires to go back to Godhead. The devotee aspires to be close to the Lord. The devotee aspires to all these things, but then not without service. If there is any service, then only he is interested. Otherwise, he is not interested. So then he will say, my Lord, I have nice service in this material world. I'll stay back here only. So this one, he wants service. That's very, very clear. So in this way, the devotee, he is a liberated soul. He is not much bothered about the body. He is not much bothered about the mind and intelligence and all these paraphernalias. So, but he is very much bothered about his opportunity to render service to the Lord. So he is that is his lifeline. That is the thing which is actually nourishing him and taking him forward and things like that. So that is something that he will never part away with. So these great souls, their attachment is still there, but then their attachment is transferred to something spiritual. Their attachment is transferred to the Supreme Lord, and they want to render service to the Supreme Lord. So whenever a devotee is, whenever there is a prayer that a devotee wants to get closer to the Lord, so it is implied that he wants a service, in association with the Lord. So without service, it is nothing. After this one is there. So there is no question of this one, any interaction between a devotee and the Lord. Devotee and the Lord interaction is there, means there is some service. So it is not I want to take darshan of the Lord. So that means, that is also in service only. It is not we go to the zoo and see some animals like, so aisa dekh ke aayenge. Not like that. So we want to take darshan of the Lord means like it is also seva, it is also seva. Darshan also is a seva. Like prasadam is also a seva. Like everything is a seva. So like one has to do things in the mood of servant and mood of service. So that is the primary identity of the living entity, and that's the state of a liberated soul. He is fully engaged in the service of the Lord. So now, like because of such a state of existence, his wherever our attachment is, and that's what we will be able to think over, right? So whatever we are attached to, if somebody is like scolded us, just before coming in here, so even though Bhagavatam class is going on, we'll be thinking about that only, like because our attachment is ki like koi to kuch to bol diya, and that is actually occupying the whole space, right? Or sometimes yesterday, like when I went to temple, like Sinjam, so one boy I met, and then he was telling, we were discussing so many different things with the parent, and then this boy was eagerly waiting for jalebi. There was food court was to be put. He is eagerly waiting for jalebi, starting to end, like so many things are getting discussed, but his consciousness is fully fixed in jalebi. So in that way, like wherever we are attached, that's what we'll be able to think, in this one. So here, Jadabharat, like he is attached to the Lord, and he is not able to think of anything else apart from the Lord. And even if somebody chastises him, it just doesn't getting affected. So because if he has to get affected, he has to stop the thinking about the Lord for some time. So that is more bigger pain than like these people shouting at us and things like that. So in that way, like these pure devotees or the liberated souls, they don't have any like bandwidth to think about anything material. So because they are fully absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord, and they are naturally attracted to the Lord. So one time this Prahlad Maharaj is asked by the teachers. The teachers are telling that, see, all other boys are not like you. They are not speaking in a deviant way. They are like obediently they are following whatever we are telling. And see, the real thing is we are this body and we have this senses, and sense gratification is the goal of life. And you should do that. And we are even maybe like if you are born in a Brahmana family or something like that, you are doing devotional service, it's accepted. Somewhat it is accepted. But we are born in demon family. We have to be like demons. Demons mean sense gratification. So why are you thinking in this way? So then Prahlad says that I am trying my best to follow your instruction. It is not that I am disobeying you and I don't want to follow your instructions and things like that. So he tells a very nice shloka. He says that yata brahmayati I am Brahman, swayam akarsha sannido, tata me vidyate chetas, chakrapane nidrichaya. He says that yata brahmayati I am Brahman. So like just like an iron particle is attracted by the magnet, so in the same way, like my consciousness is attracted by the Supreme God. So like I don't have a choice, like I don't have a choice. That it's not that I'm planning. When you are speaking something to me, like I'm planning to think about the Lord and I want to disrespect you by not listening to you and things like that. ऐसा नहीं है, like no, ऐसा ही like no attraction हो रहा है. So like what can I do? His problem is like that. Our problem is different. So our problem is at least while doing japa, in 2 hours one time we think about the Lord is a big thing. So for him it is like when. Even the matters of sense gratification is discussed and taught to him. So even then, like he is not able to focus on that. He is able to focus only on the Lord. So this is the nature, or this is the position of a person who is in the liberated state of existence, and they are not very much affected by the bodily things. Just like if somebody else's car gets hit, we will not become affected. So in the same way, like this body looks to be like, it's a property of the material nature, So I'm just staying here for some time. So, थोड़े दिन में like खत्म हो जाएगा body, and then I'll go back to God. So like he is in that kind of mood, right? So in that way, like he's not very much affected, by this bodily this ones. And here there is another statement that is actually mentioned about. Okay, so just before this, there is another shloka that the first shloka that Jadabharat actually offers in response to the king's sarcastic comments is that my dear king and hero, whatever you have spoken sarcastically is certainly true. Actually, these are not simply words of chastisement, for the body is the carrier. The load carried by the body does not belong to me, for I am the spirit soul. There is no contradiction in your statements because I am different from the body. I am not the carrier of the palanquin, the body is the carrier. Certainly, you are, certainly, as you have hinted, I have not labored carrying the palanquin. For I am detached from the body. You know? So this body is carrying, like actually I am not carrying. So I am not actually laboring hard. So you have said that I am not stout and strong, and these words are befitting a person who does not know the distinction between the body and the soul. The body may be fat or thin, but no learned man would say such things of the spirit soul. As far as the spirit soul is concerned, I am neither fat nor skinny. Therefore, you are correct when you said that I am not very stout. Also, if the object of this journey and the path leading there were mine, then there would be many troubles for me. But because they relate not to me but to my body, there is no trouble at all. Right? So he is in this whole thing. It's not that he is affected by the sarcastic statements and then, like out of anger, no, he is actually responding in a witty way or something like that. No, he is like completely unaffected. No, he was completely unaffected, and he was just trying to see his perspective or his take on the sarcastic comments. Like how did he actually take the sarcastic comments? So and now in today's this one it's mentioned the fatness, thinness, bodily and mental distress, thirst, hunger, fear, disagreement, desires for material happiness, old age, sleep, attachment for material possessions, anger, lamentation, illusion, and identification of the body with the self are all transformations of material coverings of the spirit soul. So this is the symptom. Like, okay, so that's also mentioned. A person absorbed in the material bodily consumption is affected by these things. But I am free from all these bodily consumptions. Consequently, I am neither fat nor skinny nor anything else you have mentioned. So now we see that this is all the symptoms of a person who is affected by the modes of nature. So like, and it simultaneously occurs. No, it is not that like a person is somewhat realized, no, and then like he is in knowledge and at the same time he is in ignorance. No, that's not possible. So like here we see that like the symptoms of the ignorance is like thinking in the bodily sense, I am fat, thin and things like that, or bodily and mental distress and thirst, hunger and stuff like that. So like many times we have described this example, like I'm not sure like if in this audience also I have spoken about it. So if you see like this room is there and this room has certain characteristics, like there is an altar over there which has a curtain also, and then there is another altar for Prabhupada, and then there is a picture here, and there is fans and different kinds of colors and things like that are there. So now, like if the place is completely pitch dark, we will not be able to see any of these things. But when light comes, we will be able to see all of these things, right? It's not that when light comes, I'm able to see one portion, I'm not able to see another portion. It's not possible like that. So in the same way here also we see that, so when there is ignorance, then all these symptoms simultaneously manifest. The bodily consciousness manifests, the distress manifests, thirst, hunger, fear, disagreement, quarrels, all these things simultaneously actually they manifest. It is not that like one thing is there and another thing is not there. It doesn't happen like that. So awakening of knowledge means we will be freed from all these things at one shot. And being in ignorance means we will be caught up with all these things at one shot. So there is no like part by part, this one. So this is like natural awakening. So sometimes also like the first time when I actually had this kind of thought process was at one time like I was in one of our bases, like I was sitting near a window after Mangalarti. So I was chanting, so it was generally like the morning time is like pitch dark, outside. So through the window, nothing you can actually see. Everything is dark. I was just looking over and I was chanting. And as the as the sun starts coming in, so slowly, like first black and white images come, like of the car that is standing there, and then the parapet wall, and then like the like planks over there and things like that. So, and then after a little bit more sunrise comes, so more colors and all these things starts manifesting. And when the sun comes fully, so then you will get the clear picture of this one. So here, for the liberated soul, for him, the knowledge component is like very very nice, and he's able to actually practically see Krishna, so practically have the experience of Krishna. So because of that, everything in this world becomes very crystal clear. What is like very very crystal clear. And when the ignorance is there, when Krishna is not manifest in the heart, so when the spiritual knowledge is not sufficiently there, so then what happens is like everything is dark, and when everything is dark, like we will not be able to see things in clarity. So all these this ones, like all these things that are mentioned as the symptoms of material covering. So it's simultaneously, it is there. So one of the things which we always discuss about is the sign of knowledge means to see things as part and parcel of the Lord, and to see things as meant to be engaged in the service of the Lord. And sign of ignorance means, what's the opposite? What is the sign of ignorance? Yeah, so like any object I see, this is potentially an object that is meant for my enjoyment, right? So like taking it for one's own enjoyment. So that is called the sign of ignorance. So here, we see that, Jada is telling like already I am awakened, and I am not affected by these material things. Kindly for your information. So like if you think that you can provoke me through this, like it's not possible. So I am not disturbed by these things. So then purport, Srila Narottam Thakur has said, Deha Smriti Nahi Ara Samsara Bandhana Ahantara. One who is spiritually advanced has no connection with the body or with the bodily actions and reactions, right? So he doesn't get affected by these things. It's just like sometimes we can practically see this thing. Now, if you are there in a room, or if you have any opportunity to go to the place of play school and things like that, so you are the only adult who is there, and everybody else is like small children and who are playing, and their transactions are completely different. What they will feel happy about, what they will feel bad about is completely different. And you don't have any of those things. Like if a toy is given, the child will be happy, and if a toy is snatched, the child will be like this one not very happy. So, but it doesn't matter only for you. Those transactions doesn't matter only for you. So in the same way, like a person who is spiritually advanced, for him these material transactions are like bachon ka khel, like it is, it doesn't have any it doesn't have any this one for him. And when one comes to understand that he is not the body and therefore is neither fat nor skinny, one attains the topmost form of spiritual realization. This is possible. Whenever we talk about this is possible when there is awakening of spiritual knowledge. So that is needed. So without that, it is not possible. Artificially, if we try to see that, okay, like now I understood that I am not body, I am spirit soul. From now on, I am going to act in this platform. Kuch nahi hoga. We have to act only in the platform where, like, we up till to the level of knowledge that has risen in our heart, and to the level of devotion that has come in our heart. Only to that level we can actually execute and we can actually function. So we cannot artificially function in a different platform. It is not possible. So the modes of nature will force one to act in a particular way. Nobody is free from the actions of modes of nature. So only way, like how we get free from the modes of nature, there are many different answers are there. So one of the answers that Krishna gives is like Ma meve prapadante maya me tantaram. So when we take shelter of the Lord, when we when the Lord takes charge of us, so then the Lord actually can release us from the material bondage. On our own we cannot get released. We cannot say that now I will not get this. What is it? I am short-tempered. So from tomorrow on I will not get angry. It is not possible. You have to work on internally, to awaken the knowledge, or at least to come in contact with the material mode of goodness or some other modes, and then wait for the time it takes to transform, and then you will be able to work on that particular mode. Otherwise, suddenly you cannot say that my modes of nature is like this, and tomorrow onwards I'll change. And sorry boss, you don't have option to change. So whatever you have, only that you can use actually. So that's the this one. And at the present moment, all human society is laboring under the bodily consumption. Therefore, in the Shastra, people in this age are referred to as Dvipada Pashu, two-legged animals. So why it is called as animals?
Animal do only self-gratification.
Huh?
Animal do only bodily self-gratification.
Yeah, animals do only bodily self-gratification. Any other aspect? glorification of animals. No? What is the symptom of an animal?
Animals cannot understand the connection between zero and zero.
Yeah, animals cannot think on the spiritual platform. They don't understand?
Anything regarding dharma or
Dharma, yeah. So this is a very important shloka that dharmo hi desham adhiko vishesho dharme nahina pashubhisma. So there is special qualification between the human beings and the animals is right. Human beings are meant to follow dharma. Human beings meant to follow dharma. The higher intelligence is offered so that we can actually follow dharma and then we can get out of this bodily consumption completely. So we also are affected by the sense gratification. The animals are also affected by the sense gratification. So they are also affected by the material modes of nature. We are also affected. But what's the difference? The animal doesn't know that I have to come out of it. But a human being knows. He is supposed to know that he has to come out of it. And for that he has to put himself through some rules and regulations and dharma. So that is that's a very nice point. So like in this when we see that like animals means generally the characteristics of animals is one of the characteristics of animal is fear. Like the animals will be like constantly in fear. That's the basic nature of all the animals actually. And whenever we come to this topic of fear, like what's the definition of fear given in Bhagavatam? Bhayam Dvitiya Ravinimesha Pashyad. So when we see ourselves as separate from Krishna, so then immediately there is no potential of fear that is there. So like there are many different elements are there and these elements can potentially harm us, right? So that fear can be there. So this one of the symptom of animal is it is fearful, all the time it is in fear. And another symptom is it doesn't follow dharma. And another symptom is it cannot like think on the spiritual plane and things like that. So a human being is having all these benefits and a human society should be organized on this platform. So and here it is mentioned, no one can be happy in a civilization conducted by such animals. So why one cannot be happy? So even sense gratification also offers happiness, no? Huh? But temporary happiness बार-बार करते रहेंगे तो permanent हो जाएगा.
Duality there. You will not be always happy.
You will not be always happy, okay? Why we cannot be happy? So here Prabhupada is making the statement. So okay, let's come to the point of what it needs. What is a prerequisite for us to be for being happy? What we need to have to be happy?
The needs of the body, mind and soul should be fulfilled.
Okay, that's good. Any Shastric reference?
Peaceful mind should be peaceful.
Any shlokas that you remember of?
Whatever the real dharma, like fish cannot live in water without water. So if fish is kept in water, then only he will be happy. So similarly, anything which is following the real dharma of living entity, then only.
Yeah, that's a nice point. So the shloka is Savai Pumsam Paro Dharma Yeto Bhakti Radokshije Ahaitiki Apratihaka Yayatma Suprasidati. So Savai Pumsam, so for Pumsam means the living entities, and Paro Dharma. What is the superior dharma? There are many different dharmas are there. So we are born to certain parents, so we have responsibility towards the parents. We are born in a society, we have responsibility towards the society. And then what else is there? Deva, like Deva means like this one, the sun god is giving sunlight, the air god is giving like air, and so many different facilities we are getting from the nature. So we are indebted to all these people. So our dharma is that we have to pay back, to these people. It's like, if you use electricity, your dharma is that you have to pay electricity bill. So you have to pay. So like that, everywhere we are getting some benefits and we have to pay back, right? So in that purport, like very startling this one, it's in the 11th canto, this particular shloka. In the purport, Prabhupada actually, the disciples of Prabhupada, like from the acharyas, they actually write, if in the morning you see like nice chirping of birds and nice environment, and you appreciate sometimes how pleasing the environment is, how pleasing the sounds of these birds are, and things like that. Immediately we become indebted to those birds. and we have to pay back. No, you have got some entertainment from those birds, and now you have to pay back. No, उसको भी ऋणी बनता है. So you don't even know कितना loan किस के पास लिया है. So and like we have the whatever benefit you get from external source, so you become indebted and you have to pay back. No, your dharma is that you have to pay back, right? So and in this way, like yeah, so they were rishi. No, rishis, they have given the education or Vedic knowledge. They have preserved. They have understood. They have realized it, and they have preached it and things like that. So unbroken chain of disciple succession is there, and that's how we are able to get this scriptures even now. So they were rishi. Bhuta, is other living entities. We get service and help from so many other living entities. So all of us have studied food chain, right? So like without, if one living entity is not there in the food chain, so we will not get all that we need. So like rain will stop, the natural resources will stop and things like that. So they were rishi. Bhuta, apta, relatives. Relatives feel some social security, and relatives, we get so many support from the relatives. Bhuta, apta, nrina, so other human beings, and then pitra, like our forefathers, So कभी कभी वो प्रॉपर्टी छोड़ के जाते, कभी लोन छोड़ के जाते. So Chanakya Pandit says, like, if the father leaves behind loan, so he is a shatru. So anyways, so like so these different ones. So we have many different dharmas. So and we have, if you are an employee of the office, like you have a particular dharma over there, you have to do that. So you have agreed to serve in that capacity, and if you don't do that, so that's actually some kind of a sin. And then so in this way, like many different dharmas that are there. And but then paro dharma, what is the ultimate dharma? Savai pumsam paro dharma. So that is eto bhakti radokshami. Our real position is we are part and parcel of the Lord, and the service or bhakti or bhajan towards the Lord is the ultimate dharma, paro dharma. And ahaytuki aprati handa yayatma suprasidati, right? So suprasidati, to become happy, like the society should be organized. Here Prabhupada is mentioning that if the society is laboring hard behind the bodily conceptions and sense gratification, so like how much ever we try to make the society very nice, but still nobody can be happy. That's not possible. So like happy and prosperous society, even if people are not liberated, even if people are conditioned and they are within the modes of nature, but if the orientation is that everybody should go towards Krishna, if the orientation is that, okay, now I am conditioned, but then I have to go towards Krishna, if the orientation is there, and if the leaders of the society are taking guidance from self-realized souls or brahmanas and things like that, and if the society is organized in a way to like help people to go out of this material clutches, then overall there will be peace and prosperity, right? So that's how the Varnashrama system is actually organized. So Varnashrama Acharavata Pumsam Purushena Parapuman Vishnu Aradhyate Pantha Na Anyat Tattoshakarana. So every activity in the Varnashrama, so be it a Shudra or a Vaishya or a Kshatriya or a Brahmana, so everybody's goal is that I have to progress towards Krishna. So then it is a peaceful society. So if the society is not organized towards this direction, then the society has to be chaotic. That is very clear. If somebody says that I am going to make the current constitution and the current way of working of the country is not good, so I am going to make people very happy. Okay, tell me your plan, how are you going to make people happy? So then if he says that I am going to provide sense gratification like this, I am going to give everything free, electricity free, water free, everything free, and people will be happy. So then this one is, we check against the shloka, ahaytuki apratighata yatma suprasidati. अरे ये तो थोड़ा भी पास में नहीं है ये definition का. We straight away tell that you do this plan, people will not be happy. We can like very clearly tell that, because it is not possible, like until unless you come to the point of we are part and parcel of the Lord, and we have to organize ourselves in such a way that we have to serve the Supreme Lord, we can never be happy. It's very clear. And Prabhupada did not know about all other different kinds of rules or all other different kinds of plans and facilities that this material world will come up with. But then Acharya is very clear. If sense gratification is the center, whatever scheme you bring about, people will not be happy. It's very clear, right? So no one can be happy in the civilization conducted by such animals. Our Krishna consciousness movement is trying to raise fallen human society to the status of spiritual understanding. It is not possible for everyone to become immediately self-realized like Jada Bharat. No, it's not possible. And however, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Seva. So if we render service to great personalities and also if we render service to Srimad Bhagavatam on a regular basis, so then there is possibility of Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu, the possibility of the contamination in the heart will get purified. And once it is purified, so what remains is, what will remain after Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu? In that shloka, what does it say? Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. No. And after that, what happens? What is the next shloka? Kada Rajastamo Bhava Kama Lobha Rayashe Chedete Navitam Sitam Satve Prasidati. Right? So like the modes of passion and ignorance reduces, and Abhadra is reducing means basically modes of passion and ignorance is reducing, and then Sitam Satve Prasidati. Right? And when a person is situated in mode of goodness, what happens? Evam prasanna manaso. No? He becomes very, very happy. No? So for a person to be happy, one has to come to mode of goodness. No? If somebody says like I am in mode of passion, how can I become happy? Like it's not possible. No? It's no, you have to come to mode of goodness, to be happy. So otherwise, in the lower modes, it's only anxiety and fear and all these things actually there. So the principle of happiness actually comes in the mode of goodness. And real happiness, real happiness actually comes. So prasanna manasu, that actually comes over there. So this Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu is a very, very essential thing. And what is the shloka before this? Before Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu? Huh? No. This is actually progression of bhakti. This is actually the shlokas which talk about Shraddha, Sadhu, Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Ananta Nivritti. And here it is talking about Ananta Nivritti, Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu, and then Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki is the stage of Nishta. So the previous to that is Shrinatam Swataka Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtanam. Hridayantastoki Abhadrani Vidhanoti Suritsatam. Right? So like if we are engaged in the process of chanting and hearing on a regular basis, so then this thing can actually happen, Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. Right? So for this to happen, a regular indulgence in the spiritual practice is very, very essential. So chanting every day and hearing Srila Prabhupada's lectures and other lectures every day, and reading Srila Prabhupada's books. So this Shravanam is a very, very essential aspect. Shravanam during chanting, Shravanam during lecture, and Shravanam during reading. So this Shravanam is very, very essential. And recently, we were writing Bhakti Vaibhava exam. So in that, one of the places in the second canto, Srila Prabhupada writes that until unless we don't have sufficient amount of Shravanam, so we will not be able to make progress even in the other limbs of Bhakti. What are the other limbs of Bhakti? Smaranam, and then Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, all these things. Even to progress in those limbs, one needs the help and support of the Shravanam. Without Shravanam, one cannot make progress in any of the other limbs of Bhakti. So it is very essential. Like in the Bhagavatam also says about, or in this one when that particular topic comes, the Shravanam Kirtanam. So Prabhupada actually quotes that shloka of how different personalities got perfected by executing one limb of bhakti. But then if you see, all of them would have performed also Shravanam along with that. It is not that without Shravanam, nobody has actually perfected. So it is very, very essential, and that's why we give a lot of importance for this aspect of Shravanam. So it is not that only while hearing lecture we will do Shravanam. So one of the major component of our Shravanam is, what is the major component of Shravanam? Chanting. Yeah, so we have to hear the names that we are chanting. It's not that Bhagwan agar hai to sun lega. So this one, it's not like that. So we should hear. So it is meant for us to hear and purify ourselves. So Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu, Shrimadam Swakata Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtana Hridayantastu Abhadrani Vidhanoti Suritsatam. So Krishna actually personally enters the heart and cleanses. But then if you don't hear the names clearly, so then you are not allowing Krishna to enter the heart. So then, we will not be able to cleanse the heart at all. The cleansing of heart happens only when we properly hear the names of the Lord. So now, okay. by spreading the Bhagavata principle, we can raise human society to the platform of perfection. When one is not afflicted by the bodily conceptions, one can advance to the Lord's devotional service. So like here, Prabhupada is mentioning, by spreading this Bhagavata principle, one can raise the human society to the platform of perfection. In fact, the very same set of shlokas, Srila Prabhupada writes in a poem. What is the poem? Jalduta prayers. Jalduta prayers, he is telling, what is the context of Jalduta prayer? He is like going to set foot on the Western world in the Boston. He is there and he's seeing the environment over there. Like his spiritual master had ordered him to preach in the West, and this Western world, like he's seeing that it is fully powered by mode of passion and ignorance. And how is that these people ever become devotees? First of all, to preach, there is some mode of goodness is there, like kusko bol sakte hain. So this is like they are completely in mode of passion and ignorance, and they are not at all ready to hear any transcendental message, right? So then, how is it going to happen? So then, Srila Prabhupada is telling, see, your message, in the Srimad Bhagavatam is very potent, and he is actually giving the evidence of these shlokas. Shramadam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. So if somehow or other, if people are induced to hear the message of Krishna consciousness, so then what happens? This mode of passion and ignorance must go away, and they have to come to mode of goodness, and they have to make advancement. That's the power of the Shravanam, right? So that's the way, that's the power of Shravanam of this transcendental subject, and that's how this particular medicine actually acts. So it's like if somebody says like, I'll put poison into my mouth and I'll not become affected by it. It's not possible. In the same way, if I keep hearing Bhagavatam, but I'll not become a devotee. It's not possible. So you keep hearing like the mode of passion and ignorance has to go down, and then it will have to bring about the transformation in the heart. So that's the power of this message of Bhagavatam, right? So when one is not affected by the bodily conceptions, so by this constant hearing, so one actually transcends the bodily platform. So then one can make advancement in the Lord's devotion service. So the devotion service actually acts in two different ways actually. For the conditioned soul who are attached to the bodily concept of life, the devotion service, chanting or any of the devotional services that are there, so it will make first effect as it will actually reduce our connection with the bodily concept, and then once we are above the bodily concept of life, then it acts in a completely different way. Then it actually starts becoming a very interesting and very juicy process, which offers nourishment, which offers so much of nice relationship with the Lord and nice connect with the Lord and things like that. So first it purifies and then it actually gives the goal. So both the things actually it is encompassed in the one process. So in that way, like the first process is also devotional service we are doing, but first the devotional service is done for purification of heart, and once the heart is purified, so then the devotional service is performed for the pleasure of the Lord, for really like it actually it actually makes a lot of sense to us. We like to do those things. Initially by rule and by rules and regulations we do, and then after purification we do it out of intense attachment to the Lord. So then again Srila Prabhupada is quoting this particular shloka. Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavad Kirtama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. The more we advance our freedom from the bodily conception, more we are fixed in devotional service. Right? So it is not possible that a person is like fully in bodily concept and then he is also very advanced in devotional service. No, it's not possible. So devotional service means, it is like saying there is sun, at the same time there is darkness. It is not possible. Right? Krishna Surya Sama, and if Krishna arises in the heart, how can there be any darkness in the heart? No, it is not possible. Right? So in that way, like we see that more we get freedom from bodily concept, this is the opposite way of describing this problem. That like more we are seeing that Roshni aa gaya, so that much a person is like in he is actually having the exposure of the sun. So in the same way, like we see that bodily consumption is reducing, so then that's a very good sign of advancement in devotional service. So there is another shloka that is actually there. Till what time? 11. Huh? 11 with question answers. Okay. So just okay, we'll skip that shloka. We'll see that uh, like more we are like we get freedom from the bodily concept of life, and that much we are fixed in devotional service. It's a converse explanation, but it is not true in all the sense. Like a person who's simply like getting free from bodily consumption, maybe he is fixed in Brahman, maybe he is fixed in Paramatma, maybe he is fixed in like devotional service to the Lord. But then definitely, if he is endeavoring in the path of devotional service, and if he is having reduced bodily concept of life, that means he is doing quite well. He is actually progressing in the path of Krishna consciousness. And the more we are happy, and then in that state we will become more happy and peaceful. So that's also a symptom of being in the liberated state. So in this regard, Srila Madhvacharya says that those who are too materially affected continue the bodily consumption. Such persons are concerned with different bodily symptoms, whereas one freed from the bodily consumption lives without the body, even in the material condition. So this we described in the beginning itself, that he lives without the body. That means he is not taking shelter of this body. So this body is just like sometimes we ride a two-wheeler and then कुछ दागा उसमें like फंस जाता है, like खींच के जाता है ना, like it is like some rope is stuck to the vehicle and then the rope is just getting dragged with the vehicle. So in the same way, a liberated person, though he is there in the body, he doesn't take shelter of the body. He doesn't have anything that he can get from the body. So he is just going and body खींच के जा रहा है, साथ साथ. So like that, in this the body is just continuing with him, and at some point in time he will just give up the body. So in one of the descriptions in the Bhagavatam, it is a nice example is given for the liberated person. It's like dried coconut. Dried coconut. The coconut is there inside the shell, but it doesn't have any connection with the shell. So kopara we call it, I think, this one. So this one, it doesn't have any connection. So in the same way, a liberated person, his body and himself like is detached. He just exists within the body. That's all. He doesn't have much of this one connection with the body. So that's the state of existence of the liberated soul. Hope we all reach that state, very soon. And with this, I pause today's discussion. Any questions or comments? Yes.
Prabhuji told that if we are not able to get, then we are not allowing Lord to enter the heart. And 7.4 says that mind, intelligence, thoughts, ego, and Panchadina, all are these energies. So how to understand these two or these things?
Yeah, so mind, intelligence, all these things are also Lord's energy. And if my mind is not focusing on the holy name, that means Lord is at fault. So that's why I like. So we are very expert in pointing faults at the Lord. कुछ भी गलती हुआ आपका गलती. So in fact, actually, this one when Kaliya was chastised, like Kaliya Daman, Leela actually happened. So at that time, the wives of Kaliya, they offered prayers and things like that, and then the Kaliya was spared, and the Kaliya actually makes a statement. My Lord, you are chastising me, you beat me so thoroughly. Why? Because I am envious. So, envious nature, who has given me this envious nature? It has come from 3 modes of nature. Who is the master of 3 modes of nature? Who has given this nature to me, envious nature to me? You give the nature to me and you beat me also. So, Kaliya actually asks a question like that. The Lord doesn't answer. So, anyways, now we have to answer something here. So, this is, the mind, intelligence, and all these things is property of the Lord. And but there is another component that is there. We have to understand that there are many different factors of action that is there. So one of the factors is our desire, and one of the factors is, another factor is Lord's sanction, and another factor is the exhibition of the material nature. So now when we see that we don't have interest in hearing His name, the Lord is a very gentleman. He doesn't force Himself into our consciousness. He waits for us to have a desire to actually get closer to Him. So now what is that we want to do? When we want to focus on the holy names of the Lord. So important thing is not that we have to force our mind to focus on the holy name. No, that's not going to happen because mind is not our apparatus. The mind is a like energy of Krishna, and mind is like controlled by the material nature. And I cannot do, like it is Daiviyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. So Krishna tells that my material nature, which is this mind is also part of it. So it is Duratyaya, like you cannot control this material nature. No, Ma Meve Prapadante Maya Metam Tarantite. So like now we have to actually take shelter of the Lord, we have to pray to the Lord. Lord, like this material nature is yours. No, I am very small living entity. So material nature is so huge. Why are you showing this big power in front of me? No, like please leave me. No, into this one. And then also like this mind is yours. No, please allow me to focus on the holy name. So I have sincere desire to hear your holy name. So when we express our sincere desire, then the Lord has the prerogative, to sanction or not sanction, based on how much He is pleased with your prayers, like that. So we have to do our part. So that is through desire, And the part of the Lord is like if we are getting absorption in the thought of the Lord, that is fully grace of the Lord. It is not in our capacity. But what is there in our capacity? To desire to be absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord. So that's there in our capacity. But to actually be absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord, it is by the grace of the Lord. We cannot do that on our own. Right? So that way, like we should do our part of desiring for it, and the Lord will sanction, and the Lord will actually bless us, to hear the names of the Lord. Yes, sir.
Only you mentioned that the knowledge and darkness, they cannot exist simultaneously. But while we see that even in devotional service we have steps like Madhu Shambha, so there also it's like division that something below is all darkness and something above is all light.
No, it is a grey, this one. Just like I explained this aspect of sun rays. So when the sun rises, the initial rays can help you to see black and white picture. Now then after little more rays, then it will help you to see little more details. Right? So when the sun comes fully, so then you'll get the HD picture. This may be like ऐसे होता है. So revelation of the Lord comes gradually, and then as the revelation comes to that extent, you will be liberated from the or you will be to that extent of clarity you will get. It's a gradual process. If we cannot, what we meant by saying is the sun is there fully, and then there is darkness. That's not possible. So when the sun is rising, that time there is possibility of some influence of darkness, but there is influence of light. Both the things will be there. It is not a clear darkness, clear, this one, that will not be there. So gradually it will go up. So just like we have taken the vow of like not indulging in the 4 sinful habits. So maybe in the beginning, some devotees might have had trouble, difficulty and things like that. But then over a period of time it becomes natural. At least that much of knowledge has come, so we don't hanker for those things, right? So in that way, so gradually, step by step, one things that we are attached to in the material world gets detached.
Prabhu, any liberated soul, the soul is liberated, but still he is staying in the 3 modes of nature, this nature. So why the property of the modes of nature is to affect the body or soul? Then why that liberated soul is not being affected? It's against the law of nature.
Yeah, so because the law includes this statement also. So if somebody takes shelter of the Lord, so then the material nature will not affect him. Even this rule is also there in the law book, Bhagavad Gita. So generally, everybody must be affected by the 3 modes of nature. And the Lord gives an exception. If somebody takes my shelter, so then I will release him from the modes of nature. So Lord, lawmaker makes an exception. कौन क्या करे?
I think Prabhu is asking about the body. Body is also actually getting impacted, even though soul.
Okay, body is getting impacted. He was asking that why the selfless person doesn't get affected.
No. His question is that if even a liberated soul is in this world, also seems to be, from outside seems to be affected by the
affected by modes of nature. His body is affected, but then when we interact with the realized soul, so we understand though his body is affected, his consciousness is not affected. So he is just going on in his pure
So
consciousness.
does he learn to ignore the pain because if
See,
he
the pain will definitely be there. So, but then it doesn't affect him. The experience of pain will be there, but it doesn't affect him. So, like that's the this one, the body is conducted by the modes of material nature. It's an instrument, that is made of the material modes of nature, and it will act, based on the material modes of nature. That's how Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. The body will continue to act on terms of material modes of nature, but this liberated soul has got detached from the body. Like that dried coconut example we gave. So he got detached from the body. So body is continuing to execute things on the material plane. So but then because it is in the possession of a liberated soul, he is using the bodies also in the transcendental service of the Lord, and because of that, it is spiritualized. The body is spiritualized. So body is still the material body. It is still made of material modes of nature and still made of water, fire, air, ether. But it is spiritualized for all practical purposes that will act like spirit. Like the example of iron rod kept on the fire. So still the iron rod is iron rod. But then wherever you touch that iron rod, it will act just like fire. It will burn things. In the same way, the body has become spiritualized, but still it is a body that is made of material modes or material ingredients. So it will also follow the material rules and regulations. The body will follow, but the liberated soul, he will have completely different.
mad person also kind of liberated soul. So what is the difference?
Deep ignorance, and deep knowledge, both seems to be, alike. When then there is a lot of difference. So, like a person in the deep knowledge, he will have a great deal of happiness in the heart. A mad person will not have. So he will have so much of anxiety and difficulties, and it's an acute state of anxiety. Mad state is an acute state of anxiety. So this is an acute state of happiness. And both seems to be like that. Both seems to be of same nature. Because it's thoroughly frustrated with the body, mad person. And he is like a knowledgeable person is thoroughly detached from the body. And both of them are like that. So like some external symptoms matches. Yes,
So you brought the topic, but later on you will go further. That if somebody is engaged in service, in this world only, engaged completely in service, then how he goes back to God? Like, is that desire still is there, or it is okay? Like he just serves here only.
See, if he is completely engaged in the service and he is also made sufficient advancement in Krishna consciousness. So one of the important aspects of advancement in Krishna consciousness is rati, or attraction towards the Lord. So when the attraction towards the Lord becomes very, very intense, so generally the a lover wants to meet the beloved. That this one will be there. And if the attraction is more, so then naturally he will have the desire to meet his beloved, right? So that thing will be there. So like going back to Godhead, that desire to go back to Godhead will naturally arise because of his intense attachment to the object of love. That will be there. Yes, please.
So there was some discussion which I'm just summarizing. So like we have got moon god and sun god, and the real scriptures were saying that our earth revolves around the moon, and a lot of stories are around that. Now we have reached moon. Isra has reached the moon. Similarly, Aditya is reaching the sun also. So they are more of a material object. How do the scriptures validate that? There are so many Goloka and all those things. They are not there in the science realm of the understanding. So how do we explain that?
So they have to, first of all, we have very limited scope of understanding. Even for example, if we want to say for sure that a flight has landed in a particular airport, so we need lots of parameters, lots of parameters. Sometimes the parameters that comes, the signals that comes, that may cheat us also. There is physical verification, and then there is so many other points of verification. And these objects that we are sending in the outer space, we have very, very little scope for verification. Very little parameters are there for us to verify. So that is there. So even Ravana wanted to build a staircase. No, Ravana, right? Wanted to build a staircase to heavenly planets. So these people are also trying to do the same thing. And if they try to, twist and turn the ways in which the nature works, so if we have to go to heavenly planets, one has to perform pious activities. So then we can go. So if we try to manipulate the laws of material nature, then the laws of material nature will hit back. It's not that laws of material nature. The science actually takes it for granted, saying that somehow or other this matter exists, and we are trying to explore and we are trying to master. So that's the lowest level of consciousness. The matter exists and we can control the matter. So that's the lowest level of consciousness. There are 5 levels of consciousness, and there are philosophies which are there for these different levels of consciousness. The first level of consciousness, which is considered to be a little more better consciousness than this Asuric consciousness, is the consciousness that matter is superior to us, and matter can actually overthrow us. Matter can actually matter is controlling us. So that is the understanding of Shakta. Shakta worship is there, like worship of Shakti. They are called Shaktas. So they actually consider the Shakti to be more greater than themselves. And scientists consider Shakti to be more inferior to themselves. Like this, earth, water, fire, air, ether, ये सब क्या है? Like हम लोग इसको लेंगे, कुछ बनाएंगे, like रॉकेट चढ़ेंगे, ये करेंगे, वो करेंगे, like so जो कुछ भी हम ही है, like इसको control करने वाला है. So that is like the lowest. That doesn't come into the 5 categories that we are talking about. And then the next thing that comes is the controller. Like there is Shakti is there and there is controller of Shakti is there. So this one Ganapatyas, like the worshippers of Ganapati, so they have the idea that the Shakti is controlled. It's a limited sense of controllership that is understood. Then a little more greater sense of controllership is like sun, and then they are called Saurashtra. So then after that, like the worshippers of sun. So then after that there is worshippers of Lord Shiva. So that is, their philosophy is of controller, entire controller of entire material nature. So that is, Lord Shiva has control over the entire material nature. And then the worshippers of Vishnu, the Vaishnava understanding. So that is the controller who controls both the spiritual planets and the material planets. So now they are in the level of consciousness. That means like deep darkness, darkest ignorance. तो इतना तक सन मून जो दिख रहा है लाइक उसको समझ गया लाइक वही बड़ी बात है. बोलो वृंदावन सब समझने के लिए लेके इतना डार्कनेस में क्या दिखेगा उसको. They have to come to some level of light, some level of knowledge. So then they'll be able to understand further planets.
Is it that I think the science spirituality are totally opposite on parallel tracks. You cannot justify spirituality with science justification.
Because in the darkness what you are seeing, that cannot be justified with what you see in the light.
I don't think
in the darkness you will see that no, मुझे लग रहा है कि उधर सांप जा रहा है. So like a blind person is telling मुझे लग रहा है कि उधर सांप जा रहा है. जो जिसको दिख रहा है no वो सांप नहीं है भाई, like कुछ नहीं है, डरो मत. So अंधा व्यक्ति कितना भी बोलेगा वो कभी पैरेलल नहीं बन सकता ना.
I think that's what
the person who is seeing, who is capable of seeing, he can see better things. The person who is blind, he'll keep telling so many different things. It doesn't have any sense.
It's all about faith, Shraddha, Bhakti. Because science cannot explain that. Faith, Shraddha, Bhakti, praying and all, those are emotions, right? So we have to live with that.
Enlightenment, even giving up emotions, like what we are talking about is enlightenment of knowledge. So that knowledge. Like now we see that rishis and all, like they have written this whole of like astronomical calculations and things like that. So they did not have binoculars, they did not have all these complex instruments, they did not send any things into the space and things like that. But they got revealed knowledge. Revelation of knowledge is there. So how will the science explain this particular phenomenon? So if they refute that, no, it is all myth. But then like you see the astronomical calculation, our Jyotish Shastra, you take and see like so clear this one is there. No, kaisa likha? How anybody has written. And you can verify those parameters even now. Scientifically also you can verify those parameters. So like how is it possible? Even to the precise distances and everything is there. It's not just about sentiment. It's about precise no scientific information, that is present in the revelation of knowledge. So it is like Andha Vyakti and a Vyakti who can see. A person who sees, he also gets facts and figures. And a person who cannot see, he also generates some facts and figures. So, but his facts and figures is completely, construed based on his imagination. शंकराचार्य भागवतम की जय और भक्तवृंद की जय।